G'day and welcome to the Box Seat. I'm Pete Anthonys. It's good to be here to preview 8 races from Belmont Park this Wednesday. A quick look at the forecast. The Bureau is expecting mostly sunny and 22 degrees. The rail's out in the 9 metre position and I'm expecting a good 4 track for racing. Race 1 at Belmont jumps at 12:39. It's the free entry to Belmont Park Plate over 1,200 metres. And we'll have a look at the most recent trial of first starter Nuhachi.
Lead on the outside of Ryan Lass, who railed nicely as they come into the straight. Platinum Bullet continues to come on. Nahasi's out 4 wide on the track and they were headed then by Dark Mission. Backmarkers not really making ground at this stage as Platinum Bullet had reached the lead. Nahasi went up quickly on the outside. Nahasi takes the lead now from Platinum Bullet. A line up for third, Captain Cutton Bloom, so they go to the line and Nahasi wins. Second there was Platinum.
Just the one trial so far in its career for Nuhachi, but it was quite a fast run trial. The horse took a sit just behind the pace. It peeled out, showed a few gears under not too much pressure whatsoever and was really dominant going past the post. So given the fact that it's shown that bit of ability in what looks a very tricky race with a lot of first starters, I'm happy to side with it on top. Second pick is the 3, which is Long Beach, another first starter. We saw in the most recent trial, settled out wide, ended up 3 wide without cover, and then it was just given a little bit of rain. Still looked like it had plenty to give going to the line, but again, it was another impressive performance from one of these 2-year-olds from the leading stable. Third pick is the 9 in Platinum Bullet. Jumped well in the most recent trial. It was from a wide barrier, ended up 3 wide without cover as well, and it was another horse that was going in that fast trial of Nuhachi. So the horse itself was clearly second on that occasion. It obviously had a few excuses there. Fourth pick is the 5 in Not My Fight of the race brigade. It's clearly the horse that's shown the most improvement from the first start to the second start and seems to map well once more. On top in race 1 is 4 Nuhachi from 3 Long Beach, 9 Platinum Bullet and 5 Not My Fight. Race 2 at Belmont jumps at 1:14. It's a Tab Touch Bet Your Bet handicap over 2,000 metres. And we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Meltem, last seen at Belmont.
Closing in on that leader very quickly and Picture Perfect making its run also. Inside the 300, Bucktorio regains the lead. There's a split for Meltem, Picture Perfect and now Deception Game. It's coming down the outside, the grey with a great turn of acceleration. Further back is Montagna. Deception Game had reached the lead. Picture Perfect lifting from Meltem. Montagna keeps coming, but it's Deception Game that salutes. Deception Game has won.
Thought there was a few excuses there for Meltem last start. The horse itself jumped well, couldn't quite lead. Settled in the box seat to begin with, but then was shuffled back to 3 back defence and just got momentarily caught behind the tiring leader. The horses down the outside had more momentum than it had, but having said that, it still found the line particularly well, and I'm expecting the step up to 2,000 metres should not be an obstacle. So Meltem goes on top. From the 4 Regent Star, we've had this horse feature here on the box seat a few times over the last couple of months, but again, it finds another suitable race, should put itself in the first 3 or 4 runners. There is possibly the problem of not enough speed for this horse. I'd prefer it with a little bit more tempo in the race, but having said that, it should appreciate that step up in distance as well. Third pick is the 1 On Your Head. Not sure it was necessarily suited their last start over 1,400 metres, and then obviously it settled 3 wide without cover, so it was expected to tire late. But I think the step back up to 2,000 metres, it should be able to control this race for a long way. Fourth pick is the 7 Threads of Ivy, who was snagged back to last on what was a very slow race there. Came widest, but it was clearly second going to the line. I think the horse will appreciate the small field here at Belmont. On top in race 2 is 2 Meltem from 4 Regent Star, 1 On Your Head and 7 Threads of Ivy. Race 3 at Belmont jumps at 1:49. It's the Ascot Racing Carnival Maiden over 1,300 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent start of I Hope You Dance, last seen at Belmont.
Bootleg Rascal coming into the home corner, but it's Aristic that leads for home at the 350. Aristic challenged by the grey Smug Noxious. The other grey joins in Blue Horse, and then I Hope You Dance, followed by Indecisive. No Run Uncle Con, badly hemmed away on the fence. Blue Horse reached the lead. Here comes Bralita 5. Bralita 5 bursting its way through quickly after the leader. Blue Horse, Bralita 5. They'll come to it. They split it together. Bralita 5.
I Hope You Dance just ticks the most boxes in this event. From gate 9, it should be able to put itself into the first 3 or 4 runners in this field. It doesn't look like there's a whole heap of pace up front. And we saw last start the horse wasn't necessarily suited coming back to the inside of the track, which clearly wasn't the best going of the day. It still managed to run a good overall figure, and having said all that, it comes into this race with the best last start figure, so I think it should be pretty hard to beat. One is my second pick in War Anthem. It ended up 3 back to fence there in what was a very slow bunched field. It made some okay ground there late, but it was really too far back. If it begins a bit better from gate 2, it can put itself more into the race here. Third pick is the 5, which is Bruce Almighty, another horse who should be able to settle on speed. Despite the wide barrier, I think Chris Palm can take his time bringing this horse across. And we saw last start, it sat in the box seat on a slow tempo. It was a little bit wayward, but it does seem to be improving with every start. Fourth pick is the 4, Aero Faith, who gets blinkers on here. It just seemed to be under a bit of pressure there last start, but it was a very slowly run race, so potentially with a bigger field and a bit more tempo in this event, it might be better suited. On top in race 3 is 12, I Hope You Dance, from 1, War Anthem, 5, Bruce Almighty, and 4, Aero Faith. Race 4 at Belmont jumps at 2:24. It's the Christmas at Ascot handicap over 1,400 metres. And we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Next Stop the Moon, last seen at Belmont.
Taken in front of it, Uni Time to the outside is about to dig in and make up its run. Racing to the 300, Classic Chant draws equal with I'm Icy, but now Uni Time quickly gathers them in and races to the front. Uni Time from point taken. Don't Like Lakeview and Star just paddling away. Then came Full Stop the Moon. Followed home then over on the inside, Classic Chant, but it'll be Uni Time and a canter. Uni Time won from a...
Despite the fact it was just a small field there in that start behind Uni Time, they actually went particularly quick in that event. And Next Stop the Moon was restrained back towards the tail of the field. It just seemed to get a little bit lost there at the top of the straight, lost a little bit of ground, but then really picked up over the last 50 metres. This race doesn't seem to have any speed in it whatsoever, so I think from gate 8 it should be able to jump and come across and settle on pace and potentially even lead this event, and I think that will give this horse a good chance of winning. Second pick is the 2, which is Ensign Pulver. It was a great run there last start. It was heavily restrained back towards the tail of the field, and despite having to pick gaps through the field, it was still way too good for that maiden field. I think the horse should be able to settle more forward here from gate 3, and it does have claim to that turn of foot it showed last start. Third pick is the 7, Good Fortune, who just seems to run consistently good races without winning them. Last start, it was just eased back a little bit worse in midfield, got a bit crowded with 150 metres to go, but it did pick up well going through the line. And then fourth pick is Your Dreamin', the 9, who wasn't ridden with too much intent there last start, was restrained back to 4 back to fence, and then had to weave a bit of a passage after being held up. The wide barrier, I think, is more suitable for this horse. On top in race 4 is 5, Next Stop the Moon, from 2, Ensign Pulver, 7, Good Fortune, and 9, Your Dreamin'.